Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beacon. My name is Azmat Tanauli, and I'm the outbound product manager for Looker Application Platform. I'm extremely grateful for you to be here and joining this event. What I'll be doing in the next 20 to 25 minutes is share with you some market trends that I see working with our customers and how they are using data in innovative ways to go beyond BI. A number of things have happened. AI and ML is becoming mainstream. More people are working remotely, as well as there is an increased pressure on organizations to be digitally savvy, to sustain themselves in a world which is much more digitally connected now. And all these things are making companies rethink business intelligence. So let's dive a little into it and see what it means. One thing I want to begin with is just share my own experience with data, or how we experience data outside work in our daily lives. For me, going from one place to another, and I'm sure this is true for others as well in this presentation, is I rely on Google Maps to tell me how to navigate from one place to another. I also rely on it to get up-to-minute information on traffic and making sure that I am following the most optimal path to get someplace. It naturally is part of my going from one place to another. Similarly, when I leave home early in the morning, or at any time, I ask Alexa, what's the temperature outside, just to think if I need to bring a coat or not. My Fitbit actually helps me track my steps. All these are examples of data which I experience, but in a very seamless way. I don't think of it as analytics. I don't think, oh, I need a report on things. It just naturally flows in the way I'm running my life or living it. Along with this, where we experience data fundamentally has evolved how we experience data. There is now an added pressure because we are much more digitally connected, working remotely. And these interactions which are happening every day, working remotely, are producing a lot of data. And there is added pressure on companies to make use of this data to ensure that productivity stays high. So naturally, companies are rethinking how BI could be brought into the equation to solve this issue. If I look at our industry and how data experience have evolved for our industry, I can say that traditionally there has been always an IT-centric. This goes back maybe a couple of decades where there was an IT-centric approach to analytics, and it evolved into visual discovery with a lot of people having self-service discovery. And a lot of companies have already invested in it, which is great. But there is still a large segment of information workers for whom dashboards and reports is one way of getting the information they need, but they need something much more integrated into their work streams. They need something which is just in time. Similarly, how they are experiencing data outside in their real life. And this kind of in-time analytics is something which is what we call data experiences, creating these rich data experiences peppered throughout your workday. It could be in a Slack where you're sharing information. It could be in a Salesforce application you're working in, or a marketing application, for example. All these data experiences are necessary to help us move towards a beyond BI vision and rethink how we deliver BI to our employees and, again, also to our customers. If I drill down a little deeper, as I mentioned, what you see here on the screen, as I mentioned, is a number of companies have already invested in dashboards and reports. These are the companies where there may be a need to have a trusted exploration, which is also a semantic layer, just so that the information that you are consuming out of the various different data points is accurate and you can take good decisions on it. This is the core of modern business intelligence. This is the basis. But then there is what we call beyond BI, where there is a need to create integrated insights, There is a need to provide data-driven workflows, and I'll talk about what this all means, or custom applications, such that the consumers who are diverse and all throughout the business organization can experience data in these different ways. And as companies, we need to really think hard as to how can we make this vision possible. So what does it mean to rethink BI? I think fundamentally, when we say rethink BI, it is to think about how, as I mentioned earlier in our lives outside of work, how if we are watching a streaming video on Netflix, or how we are working out, we don't think of data as analytics. Similarly, in our workday, we need to strive towards the place where, as I am working throughout my day, the data that I need, the insights that I need are automatically available to me in a very pointed or a point kind of solution, and it naturally flows in my workday. I'll give you a few examples of customers who have actually achieved this, working with various platforms, specifically Google and Looker. One company which I really, I think which is excellent in terms of creating or showing this beyond BI experience is Go Spot Check. And what they have done is they are a company which provides solutions to retailers, CPG companies, where there are field reps which are going out and going to retail place. They're looking at shelf information and seeing, is there a need to order more inventory? How is their product doing with all the other products on the shelf? How is Pepsi, for example, doing compared to Coke? And previously, what they had to do, the reps which were going out there had to collect this information manually and then make some determinations, judgments. Now what they have done is they have a mobile app which takes a picture of the shelf space, and using some image recognition and some AI ML, they analyze that image to make recommendations and figure out exactly in a matter of seconds what needs to be done, and automatically create workflows which make that assortment and inventory management much easier. And again, this is a very seamless way, a very consumer way of going about your workday, consuming the power, the insights that you need to make a difference in how you're running your business. Another company which is very interesting, it's a gaming company in Finland, and what they have 1 million people who are playing their games every day. They needed not only an idea of how or what the customer lifetime value is, but they also wanted to use that value and then determine what kind of marketing campaigns do they need to run, and how do they need to bid on these marketing campaigns such that they can optimize for the customer lifetime value. And they have done this by creating an automated marketing bid bot. And what this bot does is it automatically looks at what the dollar value is for the ad being placed and adjusts it up or down. Now again, this is BI, but this BI is being consumed in a manner which you would not traditionally think of BI as a dashboard and report and then somebody going out and making a decision. It's creating those data-driven workflows, it's creating custom applications, it's creating integrated insights where things are happening automatically. Another very interesting company that I've had the pleasure to work with is UIPath. UIPath creates automated workflow robots. These are such that they are automating repetitive tasks in a very end-to-end fashion, and they provide for their customers these automated bots which have helped their customers cut costs, increase revenue, and really free up the employees to not work on these manual type activities, but really focus on high value work. As a company, in the last 15 years or so, they have grown from a startup to a $31 billion company from a market value. And that's tremendous value which they have generated thinking beyond or rethinking how BI needs to be consumed. So If I were to summarize the trends I've seen working with customers, I can say that the two trends, I'm going to talk about two trends, but the first trend is users in business are expecting their consumption of BI to be very much like consumer applications, what they are used to outside. And the second is a lot of these companies who have been successful in rethinking BI have thought about how to unlock the user value, have thought about where the value is, and then unlocking the value, revenue naturally follows, be it internal or external. So the winning strategy in terms of how we work with customers is to help them unlock this value by creating data applications and in a very agile and fast manner, which is where I'll focus the rest of the presentation on. If I were to go through perhaps an example to illustrate this point, when we are working with customers, or when you are maybe thinking about your own organization, think about all the places where you need to identify value of data. And this is very use case driven. This is also driven as to what the person that you're providing this data to, what is the work they need to do. But think about their day in terms of what are all the touch points where data could add value to their workday. And once that has been identified, the next thing is to kind of figure out what are the places, what are the people, what are the workflows where this data needs to be delivered. So rather than having the consumers move to a dashboard or a report, we figure out what the value is, just like, I need to ask Alexa the temperature. I'm figuring that what the value is that I need and bringing it exactly to where the consumers are. And then once we identify these two areas, the next step is really to productize that value add. Now, the productization of the value add can be determined through an embedded dashboard or an embedded chart someplace in your existing workflow, or it could be a completely new application. And a number of customers have used multiple data sources, streaming, analytics, mobile apps, alerts which are being delivered on their smartwatches to really consume that insight as a product. And finally, once this insight is available as a productized solution, it opens up a huge spectrum of places where you can monetize. And by monetize, I think we should think of monetization in a very open manner, which has two aspects to monetization. One is the indirect monetization, where you're not really creating money from what you're providing, but you are indirectly doing monetization by either saving costs or acquiring more customers. You're helping marketing acquire more customers easily. You're keeping your customers more engaged. You're providing increased adoption. This is an aspect of indirect monetization where rethinking BI has helped. The other aspect is really direct monetization, where now that you have a better understanding of where data is needed, you can even think of how to deliver this data, not just internally within the organization, rethinking how to deliver the data internally, but also rethinking how to deliver these insights and externally to your partners or to your customers. And here there is a whole new stream of revenue which could come up and has opened up for many customers that I've worked with. If I were to move forward from this point on and think about what's the secret sauce, other than solving the business value, which is very critical to ensure that we are solving for the right use case, for the right value, delivering it at the right pace. The plumbing or the mechanics underneath, which is enabling this possible, are really this API-driven understanding of how things are tied together. And that typically happens through a platform where APIs are key in terms of integrating different things together and then using APIs to embed them in various places. If I were to look at how Looker makes this possible, this diagram would in some sense give you an idea that in a modern analytics stack, you could have multiple different types of engines where data is being stored. And then on top of it, there is a semantic layer which is being built, be it Looker. And then there are APIs which you can use against that semantic layer to deliver solutions in various different devices. This very API first understanding of creating real-time applications is something which our customers have used to create those data experiences that I spoke about in rethinking BI. One thing you would notice here, I've listed some capabilities of such a platform. For example, the ability to have tools which allow you to reuse analytics from one solution to another. The extension framework of Looker actually provides that. Making sure there is governance and security. Those are some of the key things to think about in terms of creating these solutions which go beyond BI. So I would summarize it by saying that, if you want to create these solutions, be it alerts or custom applications, think of data as a service. Think of data being provided through a platform and being delivered as a service exactly where you want it, and being able to tie multiple different types of systems together through APIs. And these systems could be AL system, could be AI system, ML system, it could be IoT data, it could be data coming from service, a number of different sources. The APIs are helping tie this information together, and then you are delivering them in multiple places throughout the enterprise. If I look at the platform, some things which distinguish the Looker platform, as I mentioned, it's API first, totally in database, which means that the data stays in whichever store you are using, BigQuery, Amazon, Snowflake. And then on top of it, there is a semantic layer which is created. And then on top of that, through APIs, you could deliver modern BI, integrated insight, data-driven workflows, or custom applications. And that's exactly what customers have done through the use of the Looker platform to actually achieve. Here are some value proof points from other customers who have actually done this. One example which I really like is Car Next Door, which has reduced support time by up to 85% by proactively telling their users when to use the car, depending on even bringing in weather information and making sure that the user before using or renting the car is aware of what's going on. Tuft & Needle, a retailer, has used data from multiple to optimize how they are managing sales across multiple channels, especially Amazon versus their own website. And all these things in the end really create an organization which is driven by data, where data is not just available in dashboards and reports, where they have rethought how they are delivering this value of beyond BI to their employees. And McKinsey report, in essence, shows that such organizations can expect multiple-fold increase in customer acquisition, in retention, in profitability, in delivering value to their own customers. So I will say that in the end, as you think about your own journey of rethinking BI, begin with the customer-centric approach. Begin with who is the user that you're solving for, and what kind of value you want to add to their organization, to their workday. And then providing and building, using the platform, in this case, the Looker platform is what our customers have used, providing data applications which accelerate the delivery of these solutions, and aligning their data experiences in a manner which unlocks the value for them throughout their day. I'll conclude by saying that there are a number of customers who I talked about, and there are others that have used, again, in very innovative ways, the BI and the data that they have. And throughout the rest of the day, you will be hearing from some of them. You will also be hearing from our experts, subject matter experts, into how to use the platform. And I hope you can use that to kind of bring it to your own use case and see how it can help. With this, I'll thank you much with welcoming you, as well as setting the stage for other people to follow, and hope you enjoy an amazing Beacon day. Thank you.